And most importantly, this is the most important part of our program. Daily practice with written feedback for every answer that you write. You write, we check, we give you feedback. Simple as that. This feedback loop is the loop of trust. We are not going to break it. Hello guys. The prelims fever is over. Now we are gradually transitioning towards our mains. और आपको पता है कि ethics हमारे मेंस में बहुत important role play करता है. For two reasons primarily. The spectrum of marks in ethics is very high. You can get as high as 138, 140. Just this year, the rank 7 got 138. तो अगर आपके optional के marks या GS के marks कम आ रहे हैं, तो ethics can boost your marks in total. Now, second thing, and this is the most important, ethics does not require, and I'm telling you again with authority, it does not require huge content base जो आपको थर्ड पेपर में, सेकंड पेपर में, फर्स्ट पेपर में आपको चाहिए होगा. Ethics is all about writing. आप कैसे लिख रहे हो, ठीक है? So give me 40 minutes and I will prove it to you that writing is everything in ethics. शुरू करते हैं. So एक मार्क्स देखते हैं. So candidate A has very high content, 3 notebooks of content. For case study, he has 1 book. For theory part, he has another book. Right? He is getting around 85. He has a very thin, एकदम कुछ pages के note है. And he is getting over 120, 130, 138 he has got. Now, you have to ask yourself one question. If you have such content, आपके पास इतना content है, then why are you not getting marks? The reason is this. Unlike your first paper, second paper, third paper, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था, in case of fourth paper, it is less about content and more about how you write. आप कैसे लिख रहे हो, right? And throughout this orientation session today, we will understand precisely what it is. Quality of the content is important. Quality is more important here than your quantity, right? You have to focus on what? You have to focus on precise argument, precise examples, precise quote. ना कि आप 200-300 पेजेस की किताब पढ़ना चाहते हो, right? Now there are two things you have to understand here. More notes will not translate as more marks. Sharper content will give you more marks. So you have to work on what? You have to work on sharp content. And hence, when I said the beginning of the session, you need less in order to get more. Right? Now, guys, we have to understand another thing. And this is very important when it comes to ethics. Your preciseness of concept is very important. Your understanding is very important. जो अभी चल रहा है कि आप definition लिखिए, ठीक है? You introduce with the definition. Why? If the UPSC is not asking a question जहाँ पर आपको definition से शुरू करना है, why should you start your introduction with the definition? Concept is more important. Reading the question is very important. Second, and again, examples. Now, example should be what? It should be real. It should be India focused, and most importantly, it should be contemporary. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि मतलब आप 2005 जैसे for example corruption, corporate corruption. Most of the people will quote whom? Most of the people quote Satyam scam. अभी Satyam scam के बाद बहुत सारे scams आए हैं, ठीक है? You have to update those examples. Right? And we don't do that. Right? Then, most importantly, thinkers. Look, again I'm telling you, ethics is not philosophy. अगर ethics philosophy होता, then UPSC would have mentioned paper 4 philosophy. Ethics is not philosophy. Ethics is what? Ethics is what you are as a human being and what you are going to be as an administrator. For that, you should have the knowledge of philosophers and apply those knowledge. Just quoting philosophers will not give you marks. So, most importantly, you have to quote the right philosophers, right thinkers, right administrators at the right place. And again, for that, what you need? Writing. लिखाई बहुत important है. Now, balance structured points within limited. Balance structured point in the sense, what do I mean by that? अगर आप topics, अगर आप toppers के copy देखते हो, अब देखोगे कि they try to show their administrative setup mindset by balancing their answers. बहुत अच्छा से बैलेंस करते हैं उनके आंसर्स. आप देखोगे they give counter points very brilliantly. They design their counter points, right? Now this balance does not come automatically. उसके लिए again what you have to focus is on writing, proper writing, right? So coming back, generic knowledge will not help you. अगर आप generic knowledge, ठीक है, I know the concept of value, I know the concept of virtue ethics, उससे काम नहीं बनेगा. What will help you is that how you're utilizing that knowledge in your answer writing, right? This is the most important thing. Now let's understand something. Now this is very important. I will show you with an example. एक example लेते हैं, ठीक है? And this is UPSC question. Let's understand what is a good copy and what is a not a such a good copy. एक poor copy है, ठीक है? एक question लेते हैं. This question. Emotional intelligence is the ability to make your emotions work for you instead of against you. ठीक है? Simple question है, ठीक है? Do you agree? Discuss. ठीक है? Very easy question. Any sincere candidate, somebody who is preparing for their UPSC Mains would be able to write this answer. But content quality पे हम लोग focus करते हैं. Watch the content quality and how it brings that delta, the change in your marks. ठीक है? देखिए, ये वाली question देखते हैं, ये वाली answer देखते हैं. देखिए, emotional intelligence is the ability to make your emotions work for you instead against you. Very simple, that we are person of emotion. Emotion is not bad. Emotions are actually good. If you have not seen my video on emotional intelligence, it is there in YouTube. You can go and watch that, where I have said that emotions is a trigger point which helps us to realize where we are going wrong. It improves our knowledge base. It improves our argument. ठीक है? Emotions का भी importance है. So, but emotions has its downside. Emotion has its downside, right? Emotional intelligence does what? It controls that downside. वो downside जो problem है emotions के साथ, उसको control करते हैं. And if you are directing our emotions in the right way, which is done by emotional intelligence, then we will accomplish very good things, right? Now, this is a mota like the understanding of the question. What a poor answer will look like? A poor answer will look like this. देखिए, the length of the introduction, right? 4 lines के introduction है. Demand पे focus कीजिए. And then what they will do? They will divide the answer, the structure into 2 parts. How EI makes emotions work for you and how EI prevents emotions from working against you. Right? They will divide. And I'm telling you, the moment you find this question, your natural tendency will be कि मैं भाई इसको 2 पार्ट में डिवाइड करूंगा, 2 पॉइंट लिखूंगा यहाँ पर, done. The problem is this, that this is not the demand of the question. This is not the demand of the question. Second is there is no examples. अब एक dimensions देखिए, इतना लंबा चौड़ा dimensions है, you will not be able to finish your answers. अब देखिए यहाँ पर space छोड़ा हुआ है, and these are all important things. It matters continuously, page after page. If you are leaving such space, right, you are sending signal to the examiner that you don't know much about how to manage space, right? You don't know much about to manage space. Then what will happen? You're like obviously will be getting below average. So this is a particular answer जहाँ पर आपको 2.5, 2 या 2.5 इससे ज़्यादा नहीं मिलेगा, right? Now let's see a good answer. अब एक बढ़िया सा आंसर देखते हैं. Now your answer should look like this. ऐसे दिखना चाहिए. Your paper should look like this. You know, clear, crystal, precise. दिखने में अच्छा लगे, पढ़ने में अच्छा लगे, and most importantly डिमांड मीट करे, जो क्वेश्चन का डिमांड है वो मीट करे. ठीक है? तो what does the question say? Let's understand. The question says, again, same question. Emotional intelligence is the ability to make your emotions work for you instead of against you. Do you agree? Discuss. First, what you do, you start with a very basic introduction, not more than 16 to 17 words. 17 वर्ड में, 16-17 वर्ड में इसको निपटा दीजिए. ठीक है? So how do you start? Daniel Goleman defines EI. I think it's not visible to you. I'll move on to the next. हाँ, अब देखिए. Now, how do you start? Daniel Goleman defines EI as managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationships. Now people will say, ye to definitions here. No, I have reformed the definition as per the demand of the question. Demand is saying what? Demand is saying ki, emotions, if you control through emotional intelligence, it will work for you. And what does this say? EI as managing emotions well in ourselves and in the relationship with others. Daniel Goleman says that, right? So very brief. And then I can value add. Here I can value add by mentioning the 5 components of EI. जो 5 components है वो बता देंगे कौन कौन सी है और यूपीएससी ने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा भी है, राइट? सेल्फ अवेयरनेस, आई थिंक 2023 में, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग. सेल्फ अवेयरनेस, सेल्फ रेगुलेशन, मोटिवेशन, एम्पैथी एंड सोशल स्किल. इट फॉलोज दिस साइकिल, ठीक है? ये जो यहाँ से आता है ना, सेल्फ अवेयरनेस, सेल्फ रेगुलेशन, मोटिवेशन, एम्पैथी, सोशल स्किल, ये हायरार्की है. मतलब आर्बिट्रेरली दे हैव नॉट गिवन इट, ठीक है? सो वी गिव दिस वैल्यूएशन एंड वंस यू हैव गिवन दिस वैल्यूएशन, यहाँ देखते हैं, दिस इज द चंक, दिस इज द मेजर पार्ट of your answer, right? Here, instead of dividing the question into 2 halves, what do? We address the question, give the most important heading, right? And this is your major body of the answer, right? Kya hai? Emotional intelligence, which guiding emotions. Emotional intelligence guides your emotions, controls your emotions. And how it does that? देखिए, self-regulation. Again, I'm coming back to the components wala part. Self-regulation, channeling, not suppressing one's emotion. Again, brevity of argument. इसको argument बोला जाता है. This is the argument. See the brevity. Check Animesh Pradhan's copy. Check your Shakti Dubey's copy. And most importantly, check this year's topper's copy who got 138. Again, I'm repeating his name. Excellent copy, right? This phrasal argument. Right? Channeling, not suppressing one's emotion. Then what we do, this is the most important part. ये सबसे important part है. We give the examples to validate what? I give examples to validate this argument. अभी इसको तो support करना है ना, ये argument तो like अगर आप ऐसे ही रख देते हो, इसको support नहीं है. इसको support करना है. How do you support it? You support it with examples. Good examples. Right? So Nelson Mandela regulating. So what is the argument? Channeling, not suppressing one's emotion. You channel your emotion towards doing good. And what Nelson Mandela did when he was released from prison in 1990, he could have, taken vengeance against the colonial or the people the apartheid sympathizers. उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं, I will use that power to do what? Nelson Mandela said, I will use that power to reconcile, to integrate, not divide. Now this is the interplay. Ethics answer is nothing but an interplay of argument and examples. Argument, अगर आप सीख जाते हो ना argument frame करना और example, उसका जो नजदीकी जो examples है, excellent examples, right? Which validate your argument, your job is done. Again, emotion is there within you. You harness that emotion, that energy that is there to improve your focus, to not deviate. Example, Manu Bhakkar. The 5 components, but optimism is also very important. What is the argument? Emotional setback becomes fuel. If that emotional setback, that emotion that is there within you, that setback, whatever setback you have, probably you have not cleared your prelims. Probably you have not cleared your last year prelims and you have cleared this year prelims. That setback, that emotional setback that you have got, उसको channel करना है. Who does that channeling? Emotional intelligence does that channeling. Best example, Chandrayaan 2, Chandrayaan 3. Chandrayaan 2 was a failure. ठीक है, crash हो गया था, right? Chandrayaan 3 is a success. That is how emotional intelligence harness your emotion towards accomplishing what you have missed. What was your failure? ठीक है? Okay. Now this is the most important part. Like we have discussed this. Now this is something we will be introducing again. But this is something very interesting. When we're talking about emotional intelligence, you are appearing in UPSC. We have to again see emotional intelligence and bureaucracy, emotional intelligence and governance. So in this particular case, emotional intelligence is an individual emotion, individual talent, right? So it will be related to bureaucracy, how it is affecting bureaucracy. तो यहाँ पर 3 पॉइंट दे दीजिए 20 वर्ड्स में, 20 वर्ड्स, 25 वर्ड्स, just give 3 points. right? So best example, emotional intelligence is needed where? Crowd control. Best example मैं आपको बताता हूँ, this particular officer DCP Chetan Singh Rathor of DCP of Bangalore, वहाँ पर दंगा हो रहा था, right? Now how did he calm those rioters? How did he calm those rioters? उनको कैसे control में लाया? He started singing the national anthem and everybody joined. The emotion was the emotion of anger, of destruction. Now what did he do? He used patriotism to channel that emotion towards what? To calm them. Now this is what your example of argument hai. Argument is crowd control. And how do you do that? Give what example can you give? You can give the example of DCP Chetan Singh Rathor, right? Then what other thing? Emotional intelligence, Gandhian talisman. Whenever, whatever decision you take, look at the poorest people. Face of the poor, the poorest of them all, right? Right, poorest of them all. Now that needs emotional intelligence. To go there and think of the last person, right? Think of the last person, Sarvodaya, right? To think of the last person, right? And then what? Quick redressal of the grievance. Until and unless a bureaucrat has emotional intelligence, he will not, first of all, the quick redressal छोड़ दो, redressal भी नहीं होता है, redressal भी नहीं होगा. So then again, what you do, emotional intelligence के साथ आप relate कीजिए bureaucracy. And then how do you end the answer? You end the answer. Now this is what I'm talking about. You end the answer by saying that emotional intelligence anchored in ethics. This is very important, anchored in ethics. Until and unless it is not anchored in ethics, emotional intelligence can be dangerous. जो Ponzi schemes होते हैं, वो emotion को ही तो control करते हैं, right? It has to be anchored in ethics. Is an important condition to maintain equanimity. The word equanimity is very important when it comes to emotions and emotional intelligence. इसको आपको use करना चाहिए. हमारे note पे है equanimity. These words will give you that edge. In order to maintain equanimity का मतलब क्या है? That controlled emotional self. We need emotional intelligence that has to be rooted in what? That has to be rooted in your ethics. This is how you write your ethics answer. This is the difference between a 2.5 to 2.5 answer and a 5.5 answer. Now this, अगर आपको ऐसे लिखना है, right? If you want to write like this, what you have to do? You can do many things, right? The first thing that you should not do, chase after content. Content के पीछे मत भागिए. जो कंटेंट है आपके पास और हम लोग जो देंगे, that is more than enough. उस कंटेंट को रिवाइज कीजिए, तैयार कीजिए उसको, right? And translate that content into marks. We will not write generic content. अगर यूटिलिटेरियनिज्म हम लोग ऐसे बताते हैं ना, यूटिलिटेरियनिज्म मीन्स द ग्रेटेस्ट गुड फॉर द ग्रेटेस्ट नंबर, ये सभी लिखेंगे. आपके आंसर और सबके आंसर में डिफरेंस क्या है? How will your answer copy that is coming to the examiner, 100 में से that one copy will separate itself? उसके लिए तो मेहनत चाहिए, करना होगा, करते देखिए. Utilitarianism means the greatest good for the greatest number, everybody will write. But what will we write? Utilitarianism equals to the greatest good for the greatest number. Example, now this is important. Example, India's COVID gave the first vaccine dose to the health workers. Now why? Because the health workers were the most vulnerable. They were going around and helping people, right? By giving them the vaccination first, government followed the principle of utilitarianism. And then what we do? यहाँ पर bracket में Bentham and Mill we write. Bentham was the initiator. Mill was what? Mill refined utilitarianism. Bentham started utilitarianism. Bentham refined it, right? Now, you have to understand, this particular dimension will score. This will not score. ये score नहीं करेगा. This particular, and this for like writing like this, you have to invest your time in writing, not going after content, not doing, 3 hours, 4 hours of 25 classes. उससे कुछ नहीं होगा. Marks अगर improve करना है, तो limited content और उसको translate कीजिए writing पे, ठीक है? So in this particular program, what we will cover? We will cover length and breadth of everything in ethics. Every topic will be covered. We'll start with our ethics and human interface. वो 2 class will take 2 classes, right? Then we'll move on to attitude, then we'll discuss aptitude, emotional intelligence. You know the syllabus, I'm not repeating and not waste your time, right? Every part of the syllabus will be covered, right? And most importantly, the syllabus will not only be covered, you have to understand that like we will be covering the definition, right? What we will do, I'll tell you, we will be covering the definition, right? So for example, deontology judges an act by the duty behind it, not its result. Everybody know. And who gave this? Of course, Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, right? And his one of the famous philosophical rendition is what? Categorical imperative, right? Most people don't know how to use categorical imperative. Answers में लिख देते हैं categorical imperative. भाई उसको use भी करना चाहिए. अब देखिए videos है हमारे, ठीक है? Then we'll give examples. Just imagine this example, real example. We'll give real example, right? Geneva Conventions treat prisoners of war humanly, even with no military gain. This is an example of deontology, right? Here end does not matter. Here the process matters, the means matter, humanity matters, the value of humanity matters. So Geneva Convention says what? That you have to treat prisoner of war, whoever it is, right, in a human manner, right? You have to treat them in a human manner, whatever your military achievements and non-achievements are. Okay? And then, so we will be giving you quotes and most importantly, PYQs and model questions. PYQs bhi hai. It is there. Every topic is, jitne bhi PYQs aaye hai 2013 se, ठीक है? All the PYQs is there on, for example, attitude mein. So attitude, there were total, I think, 9 to 10 questions. All the PYQs is mentioned. ठीक है, वो भी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. मॉडल क्वेश्चंस आफ्टर एवरी सेक्शन वी हैव गिवन, ठीक है? सो यू कैन प्रैक्टिस मॉडल क्वेश्चंस आल्सो एंड आई विल टेल यू द मेथोडोलॉजी ऑफ टीचिंग आल्सो एंड आई विल शो यू सम ऑफ द सैंपल्स आल्सो. देखिए सैंपल्स देखिए, वेरी लाइट, ठीक है? नॉट सो एवरी concept is explained in 2 or 3 lines. This is ethics accelerator program, right? Here what we have to do is that we have to increase our marks from 85 to your 125 plus, right? So look, so we started with a definition, very brief definition, right? We have discussed, like we are talking about attitude, we have discussed that properties that determine attitude. एक valence है, एक strength है, right? Valence means direction, again strength, the strength, the strongness of that particular attitude, right? And then of course the famous CAB model, ठीक है? और देखते how does it look? Look, we have given quote. After every point there is quote. कहाँ पर मिलेगा? After every dimension there is a quote. Then again, look, we are not giving only India's example, we are giving some global examples also, right? So we have arguments here, examples and some quotes, ठीक है? That makes every dimension for you holistic. आपको इधर उधर कुछ नहीं करना है, सिर्फ इसको फॉलो करना है. And again, it's very concise. It is ready-made material for what? It is ready-made material to be used in answer writing. As simple as that. ठीक है? Now, I will tell you something important. Whatever we are going to cover in class, it is there in the notes. Whatever we are going to cover in class, it's there in the notes. Notes are self-sufficient. It has your notes, quotes, definitions, examples, arguments, phrases which are important, it's there. The necessary of the class is what? And this is the most important thing. I have told you ना कि model questions भी रहेंगे. We will use the class to address वैसे model questions. We'll understand the concept and how to address those model questions. So entire journey of the 10 classes will be how to answer questions. Just imagine, we'll be discussing over, let's say 40-50 questions, उससे भी ज़्यादा शायद, right? उससे भी ज़्यादा. We'll be discussing those questions in the journey of 10 class based on the content. उसमें क्या रहेगा? Examples रहेंगे, quotes रहेंगे, definitions रहेंगे, phrasal arguments रहेंगे, सब रहेंगे, right? You don't have to refer to anything, ठीक है? Okay. So it is completely given to you to revise. उसमें कुछ value add नहीं करना है. It's already value added and given to you, right? So it's just one file. You don't need 3 files. जैसे मैंने बताया था, ठीक है? PYQs का अलग फाइल है, कंटेंट का अलग फाइल है, ठीक है? वो अलग फाइल नहीं चाहिए, एक फाइल बस, done. Now this is another important thing you have to understand. We were talking about primarily the theory वाला part. केस स्टडीज वो भी तो है, ठीक है, उसको कैसे डील करेंगे? वी विल डील दैट. Every theme of the case studies that has been discussed for the last 13 years, right? 13-14 years, and we'll deal with all of them. We'll deal all of them, right? So basically we'll be covering more than 40 to 50 case studies, and these will be done in the classes, in recorded classes. Okay? Okay. Now, so we have understood that what this program will be. Primarily our focus will be one material, answer writing, conversion to marks. ये philosophy हमारा, right? Now I'll tell you something. Revision, right? Now revision is key. Today you are standing 80 days, 85 days before exam. अभी लग रहा है बहुत टाइम है, टाइम नहीं है वैसे, ठीक है? But just imagine on Saturday, आपके ethics का exam होगा Sunday. After you come giving first paper and second paper, on Saturday we'll have exam. On Sunday we'll have exam on the second half, and you have to revise your ethics probably on Saturday, yeah, between your third paper and fourth paper, right? What do you need? Or probably 7 days before, right? आपको like 13th या 14th का करके आपको revise करना है, and you just have like say 6 hours window. What do you need then? You need short notes. You need 1-pager notes. हर topic के लिए एक pager notes. We will provide that also. For every topic that is mentioned in the syllabus, we will provide you 1-pager notes जहां पर आपके पूरे dimensions रहेंगे, quotes, definitions, everything. So, आपके पास content है, consolidated content you have. That consolidated content is converted into what? It is converted into your 1-pager notes, right? So that will help you to revise. You don't have to revise 3 volumes of your, text notes. You have to just revise only 1 file. ठीक है? एक ही file आपको revise करना है, right? Now, so as I've said previously, you will have definitions. So these are the layers in our short notes, right? Layer 1 keywords and definitions एक ही पेज में मिलेगा. For example, integrity है, right? In integrity, we'll have the keywords, important keywords that is associated with integrity, right? And the definition of that particular word. ठीक है? और हमारे YouTube में ethics keyword series आप follow कीजिए. In ethics keyword series, what we have done in ethics keyword series, we have dove into these keywords. Integrity का we have taken like a half an hour class, right? We have covered left and right, everything that has to be there in integrity. Objectivity सब cover की है, ठीक है? Non-partisanship we have covered. Just go and check the YouTube classes, is there, and we'll provide those content also. यहाँ पर वो content भी आपको मिल जाएंगे, ठीक है? Then core arguments will also be there. Core arguments in the sense how you are framing probably integrity वाले arguments. 3-4 arguments आपको तो frame करना है, right? Those arguments also we will be giving it to you, right? Along with what? Along with flowcharts. Flowcharts are very important. When you're showing, when you're showing compassion, the journey from, sympathy to, let's say, compassion, right? From sympathy to compassion and altruism, the moment you show it with flowchart, it brings value, it brings marks. Okay? And last but not least, of course, your examples. There will be list of examples. So this will be your 1-pager note, which will again, we will be start uploading it by next week. You can go and check. ठीक है? Standing now, you feel that ethics is like a lottery. ठीक है? भाई करके जाता हूँ, ठीक है? And I will prepare the notes. Have popular teachers है. I'll prepare the notes. I'll do the classes. And हो जाएगा फिर. ठीक है? It's like gambling with your future. Gambling with that 1.5 years of your study. Don't do that. Don't do that. If of the 4 problems I'm seeing, if even 50% you recognize, agar 2 of the problems you recognize, then you should think, what are the problems? Generic answers. Case studies feel unpredictable. Case studies को कैसे approach करें? हर case studies are looking different. What should be the right approach? I don't know. No revisable system. I have 200 pages, 300 pages का notes. But 7 दिन पहले 10 दिन पहले उसको रिवाइज कैसे करें? How do I consolidate it into 50 pages that I can read within like 6 to 7 hours? वो है आपके पास? If it's not there, you should ask questions. No practice rhythm. That is, you're writing answers. Who is there to evaluate? 6,000 7,000 बच्चे में से ना आप खो जाओगे, ठीक है? Answers तो लिखोगे, evaluate कौन करेगा? Whom will you show? If these are the concerns, if these are the practical concerns which bothers you, you should think. You should think about your ethics. I'm telling you. Okay. And this does not come as an advice. This comes as a warning. Because when you come giving your ethics paper, you should have this feeling of contentment, not regret. Okay. So what we are going to do, of course, our notes will be consolidated. Number one, every argument has an examples, quotes, right? Facts. We have diagrams, flowcharts. And most importantly, this is the most important part of our program. Daily practice with written feedback for every answer that you write. You write, we check, we give you feedback. Simple as that. This feedback loop is the loop of trust. We are not going to break it. So these are the program. So you can download this program list which will be attached, like what we are providing. I'll just reiterate. So first is that we are providing this 10 classes, right? And 12 recorded ethics sessions. Keyword video series is already there. 24 videos are already there, right? And then practice every day 5 questions. Har din we'll be writing 5 questions and 1 case study, right? And Saturday and Sunday we'll have a Google Meet sessions, right? Online session where we'll be discussing these answers, right? Of course, we have our full-length test, right? That also will be evaluated by us. Then 1-pager notes will be giving it to you. Consolidated notes will be giving it after the class. So our class is starting on Monday. So from Monday you will be getting your notes, right? And of course the definition library, in the sense library, quotes, सब मिल जाएंगे आपको, ठीक है? ठीक है? And the USP about this particular course is that 24/7 mentorship, ठीक है? So today we are going to make a numerical promise to you. Numerical promise. If you think that you are getting stuck at 80 and 90, it is our responsibility to elevate it to 120 plus. It is our responsibility, right? Provided there are 2 caveats. Number 1, this is the most important thing. Don't chase after popular so-called ethics program. Second, believe in answer writing. That will give you marks. That will give you marks, right? So it is our numerical promise that we will make sure, of course, hard work is necessary. We'll make sure that there is a jump from 80, 85 to 120 plus, right? So you will get all the program details in the website and of course in our Telegram channel. Okay, thank you for your time.